Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Daniel. Huge thanks to Daniel and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Daniel reached out asking for a $1,000 budget Aristocrats deck led by Meren of Clan Toth, and I was more than happy to help. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Meren of Clan Toth is a 4-mana 3/4 legendary human shaman. Whenever another creature we control dies, we get an experience counter. At the beginning of our end step, we choose a creature card in our graveyard. If that creature's mana value is less than or equal to our experience counters, we return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, we return it to our hand. So, Meren allows us to bring back creatures from the graveyard. We could go for big creatures, discard effects, and maybe some proliferate effects to gain as much experience as possible, allowing us to reanimate massive creatures every turn. But Daniel specifically asked for an Aristocrats deck. Aristocrats is one of my favorite archetypes, but it requires 3 moving parts to function. You need creatures to sacrifice, sacrifice outlets, and payoffs for sacrificing those creatures. If you're missing any of those from your deck list, you aren't running an Aristocrats deck. And if your battlefield is missing any of those parts, your deck isn't as strong as it could be. Fortunately, with a $1,000 budget, we should be able to slot in a few tutors to find our combo pieces. But before we get to our deck list, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Ancient Tomb, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, Cabal Coffers, Verdant Catacombs, Marsh Flats, Misty Rainforest, Overgrown Tomb, Undergrowth Stadium, Deathcap Glade, Woodland Cemetery, Woodland Chasm, Haunted Mire, Llanowar Wastes, Darkboar Pathway, Golgari Rot Farm, Bajuka Bog, Field of the Dead, 4 forests, 4 snow-covered forests, 4 swamps, and 4 snow-covered swamps. I like to split up my basics when I'm running Field of the Dead. Sakura Tribe Elder, Wood Elves, Farhaven Elf, and Solemn Simulacrum all fetch us basics and are repeatable with our commander. Crop Rotation and Tempting Discovery help us find our unique lands. Jeweled Lotus, Soul Ring, and Mana Crypt serve as our mana rocks. Finally, we've got Farseek, 3 Visits, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, and Skyshroud Claim for additional land fetching. Eternal Witness, Moldervine Reclamation, Phyrexian Arena, Braid's Arisen Nightmare, Demonic Tutor, Skullclamp, Liliana Dreadhorde General, Buried Alive, Sidisi Undead Vizier, Underrealm Lich, and Black Market Connections help us dig through our deck and find answers. Tragic Slip, Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, Heroic Intervention, Return to Nature, Reclamation Sage, Plague Crafter, Spore Frog, Shriek Maw, Foundation Breaker, Dictate of Erebos, and Grave Pact help us to control the board and stay alive. The Meathook Massacre, Toxic Deluge, and Pernicious Deed work to reset the board as needed. Viscera Seer, Woe Strider, and Carrion Feeder all let us sacrifice creatures to our heart's content. Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, Poison Tip Archer, Dina Soul Steeper, Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose, Bastion of Remembrance, Sir Conrad the Grim, Vindictive Vampire, and Turgrid God of Fright all work as payoffs for sacrificing creatures. Chatterfang Squirrel General, Scute Swarm, Tendershoot Dryad, Avenger of Zendikar, and Beladros Witherbloom all generate enough tokens to sacrifice freely. Liliana Heretical Healer helps to act as a control piece. Drivnod Carnage Dominus doubles all of our death triggers. Protean Hulk helps us find combo pieces. Kokusho the Evening Star helps us gain enough life to counteract all the life we're losing through our other effects. And Breach the Multiverse serves as our sudden I win card. Now that we have our deck list, we should compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 36 lands and 14 pieces of ramp. Right on target. 11 pieces of card advantage. 12 pieces of interaction. 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Bajuka Bog and Return to Nature. 1 sudden I win card in Breach the Multiverse. The drawback Meren of Clan Toth has is that she can only bring 1 creature back from our graveyard and only once per turn. So I wanted to be able to curve out creatures that we could bring back in order for Daniel to sacrifice a couple of tokens, level up Meren, then bring back larger creatures like Shriekmaw. Of course, being able to sacrifice Spore Frog every turn completely shuts down a lot of decks. Do you have a Meren of Clan Toth deck? What about a different Aristocrats deck? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Phoenix of Ice, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, OT, Richard, Pob Zombie, Mark, Danny, Sandwich, Alex, Bryce, John, Ignis, and Daniel. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.